Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about OBS Studios, that is Open Broadcaster software, and Google Presentations. This is just going to be the basics. We're not going to cover anything too in-depth. I want to get you started. There's a lot of great resources on YouTube. There's a lot of great resources on Google. But as a way to get you started, this is what we're going to do. So let's dive right in. My name is Sarah Sampson. I am a 7-time 6% earner with pharmacy, and I also help others build their businesses online and create income from home. So, diving right in, we are going to cover today Open Broadcaster software and also Google Presentations. I could have done these separately, but the reason I wanted to do them together was because several of you have kind of reached out and asked me about doing trainings on both of these softwares so that you could actually do workshops and webinars or be more professional in your YouTube lives or your Facebook lives and things like that. So I thought I would cover them together. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So first things first, I'm going to go over the Open Broadcaster software, the OBS Studio, and then we'll talk a little bit about how to work Google Presentations. Is actually very simple. It's a lot as if you were just doing PowerPoint. So there's not a whole lot to cover with the presentation. That one you can kind of figure it on your own or do some YouTube research on. But being able to use both of these at the same time was kind of why people were asking for both at the same time. Because you can actually do a presentation using OBS software on YouTube, on Facebook, anywhere that you would like, through a stream key, and I'm going to show you how, okay? So let's dive right in. First things first, let me share my screen with you. And as you will see on my screen, I have OBS open right here. First, what I want to do though is I'm going to take you right to the website. This is obsproject.com. What you're going to do is you're going to come here. You're going to choose what software you're using, whether you're on Linux, Mac, Windows. Obviously, I was on Windows, so I clicked on that. This is a free download. This is not a paid software. That's one of the reasons I actually love it so much because, you know, people use it for all types of things, even Twitch, which is funny because I hadn't thought of that until I just saw it. But you can use it across a lot of different forums, which is why it's so nice, especially considering it is free. So you just find what you want, and then you click download. Once it downloads, I'm going to close this because then I don't get confused. You will have a, I'll go through all the prompts, and then you will end up at a window that looks like this. So the reason, I'm going to take you back to my live. But the reason this is so cool is because, and I'm going to make this a bigger window, so that you can kind of see the whole window. Okay, what I love about this is I can show you myself live. To do that, I would just hit transition and it would take me back to this screen you see here. So this is the screen that's going to happen, and this is the screen over here on the right side is what is happening. Okay, now this is how I have it set up. When you are setting up OBS, you will see this box here and this box here. Those are the ones you're going to be doing the most work in. So I'm going to show those to you primarily. Okay. So the way it works is if you, for instance, want to show a live video such as this, you would click on video capture device. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, you actually have to add. You would click on the plus button. You would say video capture device. And then you would say whatever the device is that you want to and add it. Obviously, I'm not going to do that because I already have one set up. And I found that if you add more than one video capture device, when you switch between the screens, you are going to lose your video. So what you want to do is actually say add existing, click on the one that's already going, and then you're just going to click it and add it. Obviously, I don't need to do that, so I'm going to end up deleting this one. But yes, that is how that is done. Ooh, I just totally did that. I deleted the wrong one. That's okay. No big deal. Okay, the same thing for audio. You're going to click on the plus button, and this is where you can add all sorts of things. This is where you add, for instance, with share screen, that's how I added display capture. This is what you're looking at right now. I added video, and you see here, I can actually adjust my size. I can move myself around. I can adjust my size and see, like, what I'm going to be looking at. And then you can always transition. So now I'm a little bit smaller on the screen, which is cool because you can see more. So you add audio, you add your video. If you want to share your screen, display capture, we have our output capture. So if you want to play music from your lap directly from your computer or your whatever, and it's not coming from an outside source, your Google Home, your speakers, whatever. If you're using your laptop for your music, you would click on output capture, and it would actually capture any sound that your computer is putting out. So for instance, if you wanted to use Spotify or iHeart or YouTube Music, anything like that, that would be what you would do. You can show nothing but your browser. You can do display. You can do game capture. You can add images and do a slideshow. You can add a media source. This would be how you could, well, look at actually do it, but you could add from all sorts of places. Let's see here what it says. You can actually, you know, add what you need to. I'm going to cancel it because I don't really want it. Yes. I don't really want that, but that's okay. And also, if you click on it, you can actually say subtract it. You don't have to actually do what I did where I hit the delete button. You could say subtract and it would take it away. You can add text. This is a really cool way to edit YouTube videos. You can actually use this to add text into your videos without having to use any other outside software. So that's a really good thing to keep in mind, and that's also a really good way to add text when you're doing Facebook Lives as well, because you know a lot of times you don't get that, and you have to. There's paid services that allow you to have clickables, but a lot of times you don't have that written unless you're using your page and you have captions. And as much as I love those captions, they never spell pharmacy correctly, but that's besides the point. So you have a lot of options here. You add. So I'm just going to show you here. If you want to take something away, you just click on it, hit minus. It'll say, are you sure? And you would say yes or no. I'm not actually deleting it, so I'm going to leave it. But as you can see over here on the left side, I now am looking at what my next view is going to be. And over here on the right side is what the view is actually at this point in time. So that's pretty much what you're going to do for, you know, I like to break it up into live video, sharing my screen, and I do a second live video. That way, you know, I just can kind of easily transition through each thing versus, well, like having to look back and find it. Especially if you start getting a little bit more complicated with it, you don't have to do these three things. It can be put into so many different ways. There's so many different options. You could set it up in a million different ways. There have been videos where I used... for instance, I used the image and I added audio and I had a start screen. So I turned the video on about actually I think it was about 3 minutes before the video started. I added the live starting soon screen, added some music, and turned that on. It allowed me to get warmed up for the live, but people to be added to the live before it ever started. So they were there and ready for my live before I ever was there. And that's important sometimes because, you know, a lot of times in that first few minutes, we kind of fizzle. We're like, we gotta get started. No, this allows you to be really hyped up when you start your video. It allows people to be there so you're not sitting there saying, well, we'll wait for more people to hop on. No, you don't have to wait for them because they're already there. Okay? So lots of different ways you can do that. And if you want me to show you how to do that, I can. It's very simple, incredibly simple. Actually, as an example, I'll just do this. Oops, hold on. I will just do this. Hold on. About to start screen. You can really kind of say whatever you want about it. I'm going to say about to start screen just so you can kind of see what it's going to look like. So I would say image, and now it's going to be a random image. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have images prepared for this, but you just go to browse. Again, I don't have a ton of things on my laptop. I don't keep it too full. We're going to pretend that I'm talking about this for a second. Okay, so that would be the screen. Now, to add output, I would add audio output, desktop audio. Okay. And then I could go to, let me escape this for a second, minimize for a minute. I could actually go to, like, iHeart is probably the easiest one for me to get to. And you could turn on whatever music you want. And that is what OBS is going to play. It's not going to pick up your microphone because in this particular screen, your microphone's not even on. Okay, so when I click on this, if I hit transition, which I'm not going to do, it would literally just be playing the music. There is no microphone. It cannot hear what you are saying. It's not going to do anything. And if you're worried about it doing that, all you have to do is this. And of course, I wasn't talking during that time because there was no sound anyways. That right there, you can control your microphone that way, or you could just, like I said, you set it up without the audio input. All you do is the desktop audio output, and that is what it's going to hear, okay? I'm going to actually delete this because I don't need this. Okay, and I'm going to minimize just so I can see what's going on. So now, wow, how did I do that? Wanted to make it smaller, not minimize it. So now what we're going to look at is, I guess I could, our PowerPoint. So, and then we'll come back to OBS for a minute because there's still stuff. Okay, actually, before I do that, there's some things you need to know. To go ahead and stream with this, you have to be connected to YouTube or another streaming such as Facebook. How you do that is, for instance, on my YouTube or my Facebook, I mean, okay, I'm not worried about that. You can do that another time. You would go to your stream, and down at the bottom you have a stream key here. You would copy this, you would go back into your OBS, and you would hit settings. From there, you would go to your stream, you would paste it into here, click apply, and okay. It will not allow you to go live here. Oops, sorry, hold on. Click at things. It will not allow you to go live here until you have taken the time to put that stream key in. So you can't go live without the stream key. Other things to know is start and stop recording. This is a really good way when you're using your laptop. So things to recall. You can plug your phone in and use this with your phone as your camera. I have not done that yet, but it is available to you. You can plug your microphone in and do it that way. I like how my microphone sounds, so I plug it into my computer, and that's why I haven't used a separate camera yet. But it is coming. I also would like to note you can record it and stop recording. If you want to see your recordings, you just go to File, Show Recordings. There shouldn't be anything here. If there is, I'm deleting it, but there is, but that's okay. I'll delete it later. You can stop recording. When you stop recording, it will then save the video wherever you started and stopped. You can edit it at that point if you would like to. I try and start my video and stop my video at a point in time when I am ready to have that uploaded somewhere else. You do not have to record. You can actually turn off this setting. It's in your settings here. You would go to General, and it says automatically record when streaming. There's a lot of things you could set up here. You could say show confirmation dialog, keep recording when the stream stops, automatically record when streaming, automatically start replay buffer. I'm actually, and then there's all these others. I have not tried all of these settings yet. That's why I'm saying like this is basic. But if you want to record automatically, just click on automatically record when streaming. So when you hit start streaming, it will automatically begin recording for you. Okay. There's different studio modes. You could start a virtual camera. That is an OBS camera. You don't have to do that. I'm using my computer camera, works just fine. You can use a webcam. You can use your phone again. You can plug your phone right into your laptop and configure it to be your camera. I haven't done that. I'm not going to get into it, but it is something that you can do. Okay. Now that we've kind of gone past that, I am going to come over here to my workshop. If you've been in my group for any amount of time, you know I've done this workshop once. I do plan on doing it again in the future, but this was my like everything you need to know about skincare, blah blah blah. Okay, how I did this. So different ways you can do it. I picked my fonts. I added a banner that I liked the color of. I had this saved to my computer at the time. It no longer is, but you can actually set this up. I gotta remember how to do this. Format options. You can actually set your slides up so that all you have to do is copy your slide. So, for instance, if I want to do another one of these slides, I would do format, I think. See, I'm like losing it. I haven't done this in a while. Duplicate. And then you see here, now I have another slide that looks exactly like it. That's what I did a lot for this presentation. It was a whole lot easier. These were my title screens. I just duplicated those and added them. I did that also with the points. Not because the points were the same, but because the formatting would then be the same. It was already set up that I could click the enter button and I would have the look and feel that I would want already set up. To add that oh, where is it? The animation, where is it? You just click on animation. And see how this is here? Obviously I didn't really need to do that, but I have everything kind of set to fade in on click, right? So I'm able to just click and everything will show up one at a time. And I can actually play it so that I'm able to see exactly how it works. So I press the enter button. And as you hit the button or whatever, you can have it timed. You can have it set to when you click. Different ways of doing it. See, like I did not need that, but that's how that works. Okay, so you can add animation. You can add photos. So for some reason, when I did this presentation, I'll go back to this page real quick. Hold on, X out of here. When I did this presentation, for some reason, this page did not show up correctly. But you can add your photos. You can have your icon here. A little bit of who am I. I liked having this right here, not because it had to be, but because then it was fluid in the branding. Everybody knew who made it because it had my name on it. So even if it got mixed up somehow or got lost or someone found half the presentation and the whole thing, they knew who made it and they could look it up pretty easily. So you basically make it however you want. And then if you want to show that in your OBS Studios, you would go in here, you would add PowerPoint. Okay. You would add PowerPoint, and then you would add, of course, you need to add your audio input. Okay. And then you would add your, if you want your video capture, you can show yourself in that. But if you do not, if you just want to do display capture, you can even just do browser. And you would say your URL. So I would take my URL from here. Of course, I would say present. Hold on. Copy that. You put it right in here into your URL area. Okay.
I need your arm.
Press OK. I'm not sure why it's saying that. Hold on. You can do it that way. Obviously, I have to sign in. But your other option is to just do screen share. So you would do the display capture. Okay. And you could use the same display capture as before. You don't have to do what I just did. But you would have your display capture. Make sure it's set to how you want it. You would minimize this window while you're working, of course, and then have it set to present. Such as that. Hold on. Let me see if I can show it to you. I'm actually going to switch to this. I'm going to transition so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so now we are in my presentation. I have already edited my presentation to work the way that I want to, with the animation that I want, with the words that I want, the prompts. We talked about skincare. For some reason, that one went all up at once. I'm not sure why I did that, but whatever. And because I did it for both. See that? And then obviously it has my talking points. I would go through my presentation just like normal, okay? But it shows up full screen for you on the live. So when you're watching, you can see that and nothing else. You don't get stuck looking at things you don't want to. And then obviously I would just click right back to my live video, transition back to that, and delete that too. I'm keeping things out of here I don't actually need. But at that point, you have an entire presentation set up. You could do that for your YouTube. And if need be, obviously, you don't necessarily want people seeing OBS when you're like clicking through. So I'm sure there's a way of editing that. But that is really just like the basics of OBS, the Google presentation. It's not really that complicated once you get used to it. The one thing I will mention, let me share screen real quick, is if you are sharing screen and then switching between live videos, when you set up the live video, again, I'm just going to show you one more time, you will go with existing. If you do not go with existing, what will happen is, I'll show you exactly what will happen actually. Let's go to live video 3 and I will show you. You go to video capture. It's another device. Okay. So you're able to see me talking, right? I'm on a different device now, quote unquote. I've changed it over to live video 3 and you can see me, I'm talking, but look what happens when I switch back to live video 2. I get stuck. You can't see what I'm doing anymore. So now I'm going to be stuck having to delete my video capture, and I have to go ahead and add existing. Is it okay? Now it's not working. See what happened there? Okay, create new. Create new. So now I'm going to have to do that with all of them now. So I'm going to have to get rid of my video capture, delete that. Even on my share screen, so you can't even see it at the moment. Video capture device. Add existing. Video capture 2. Okay. So I'll share screen so you can kind of see it now. So now you can see me on my share screen. I had to change my live video, but if I go to live video 1, now that I'm sharing screen, you can kind of see like I'm stuck in this spot right here. You're not going to see anything. That is because now my video capture has been changed and I now have to delete that and add a new one. So it's just simpler if you add existing, go with video capture device, whatever, and here you go. You can just set it up and then transition back. Okay, so always make sure you're using your the same video source for all of it, or it's going to get confusing. Your camera's going to stop working and you're not going to know why it's doing that. Okay, so That is OBS and Google presentations in a nutshell. If you have any questions for me, be sure to drop them in the comments. Let me know. I will try and get more in depth as we go along. I didn't want to go over anything like too much and like overwhelm anyone. So I thought I would just start with the basics. There is a lot of great information on YouTube as well. So be sure to check them out. I will link some of my favorite videos. Once I'll have to go to YouTube myself, but I'll link my favorite videos so that you can see them, and I will try and put them at the top of the screen on YouTube as well. So anyways, thank you guys for joining. I hope that helps you get started. And not sure what's going on. I'm not really sure what's going on with my computer right now, but we'll figure that out in a few minutes. But thank you for joining, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.